Testing. Okay. On behalf of the commissioners, I'd like to welcome you to our meeting. If you all stand, Josh is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and Don's going to follow in prayer.
Let us pray. Oh, dear God, we thank you for this. We are thankful people for this day and for the place we live, for the beauty of this season, the beauty of our fellow citizens. We ask you provide us wisdom as we take care of the county's business. We ask those to be protected who protect us. And these things we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
A little under the weather today, so I'll be, as vice chair, I get the honors. So before I forget, I'd like to welcome all my followers on YouTube, all 2 of them. Claims.
I move to approve. There's no holds, I don't believe.
We have a motion on the floor to approve $2,436,928.02. No holds. I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. In the interest of protecting the tax dollars, I would call for findings and recommendations. Zachary, if you would like to come forward, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Zach Klutz with the Taft Law Firm. We've been engaged to serve as bond counsel for what I'll call the second phase or phase 2 of the Judicial or Justice Center. This process will be very similar to the first process. We'll come before you this morning seeking approval of the findings or recommendations, and from there we will pivot to the County Council for purposes of approving and discussing and holding public hearings on the financing for the bonds. So before you this morning are findings and recommendations. The findings are for approving the need to move forward with the Justice or Judicial Center construction, and the recommendation to County Council to proceed with the public hearings and approving a bond ordinance for the financing. Happy to answer any questions, and then I have, after this is discussed or approved, one more matter of business.
Just need a motion.
Thank you. I appreciate having Taft and your expertise. I move to go ahead and approve the plan.
We have a motion on the floor. I'll second. Any further discussion? Public input? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor say aye. 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 Motion passes 2-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Safe
Thank you.
travels.
One more item of business, and again, this is simply the first process to get everything started. There will be 2 public hearings conducted by the County Council, as well as presentations of the financial matters. We will be utilizing a building corporation for this financing. The building corp, what we've formed is the Morgan County, Indiana Building Corporation. It was formed earlier last week. And the commissioners are the body designated to appoint the directors. And so while we have appointed them as part of the Articles of Incorporation, I would just ask for a motion to ratify and affirm the following individuals to serve as directors of the Building Corporation: Terry Brock, Eric Bolin, and David Rogers.
I move that we proceed with that recommendation.
Have a motion. I'll second. Any comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Second motion.
Thank you very much.
Zach.
Grant application through the court services.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jeff Audrey, Juvenile Intake Officer, work for Morgan County Court Services, and we're seeking approval of the commissioners to apply for the Juvenile Community Corrections Grant via Indiana Department of Correction for fiscal year 23-24. We're asking that we approve not to exceed $150,000, and we would actually, we're applying for $92,000 through the state of Indiana. The rest would be supplemented by project income that probation collects. This funds the Juvenile Community Corrections Officer's position, who provides crisis intervention 24/7 to the county, to local law enforcement. It also helps in processing new juvenile delinquency referrals, family case planning, and everything that goes with that. The only change this year, we've had this same format as long as I've been here. It just used to be under the Adult Community Corrections umbrella. So for about 27 years, everything has essentially been about the same. A little bit different this year, we're getting into the prevention business in addition to everything we've always done. It's a requirement that the states moving to, criminal justice systems are, throughout the country, are going to large prevention components of their programs. And we've actually partnered with Morgan County Substance Abuse Council to provide prevention this coming 23-24. We anticipate we'll serve roughly 700 kids in the prevention window. And those would be at-risk youth for drug and alcohol abuse. So that's really it in a nutshell. I didn't know if you had any questions.
What's the
anything you wanna know in
probability of getting the
detail.
whole grant?
I would say we'll get the whole grant. We have for, as long as I've been here, it's been almost 3 decades. So we just have to meet some general criteria. They do occasionally do audits. So we have to be, have all our ducks in a row. So I'd say there's no doubt we'll get the grant this year via the state. It's
Thank you.
interesting, they're changing quite a bit. As we all know, lots of systems are changing, so I kind of wonder what things will be like a year, 2, 3 years from now, applying for these grants. You know, certainly I hope we don't have to compromise. You know, we're a great conservative county, and I like it that way. When we have to compromise those things, it's probably going to be time for me to retire, so.
Well, we appreciate the work you do over there and the importance it is to the county and to the people that you serve. And I'll move that we go ahead and accept your grant application and encourage it.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? It passes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to go on record as stating that by having Zach from Taft Law go first and leave, since most everybody else here is local, we're already, Don and I are already doing cost-saving measures for future expansion. So with that, grant application, Health Department. Probably saved us $500.
Good morning. Hey, I want to introduce to you my
Good morning.
replacement. This is Cindy Wells,
Yeah.
and she's learning everything I know in 5 minutes or less. Okay, we're here to just let you know that the nurses got a lead grant through the state, $19,582. And it is for a 2-year period. So we're just needing to get that approved by you so that and we're going to go before the council and get the funds appropriated this evening, so.
Any questions?
None, I have none. I'll go ahead and move that we go ahead and proceed with that, and welcome to our
Have a
position.
motion?
Thank you.
I'll second. Any discussion, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 2 to
Thank
nothing.
you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet
You
you.
look so familiar. Yeah. Okay. Commissioner's deed.
This is for that property up by the water company. I think it's finally
Yeah.
getting there, isn't it?
Jim is sick today, our county attorney for the
Good
public.
grief, I feel like we're in a sanitarium. Oops, I'm sorry. I'll turn this off. I didn't realize
So this is the deed, this is the piece of right-of-way that we sold to,
Cows?
They're in, they're not out, but I forgot to turn my phone off.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, leave it on, I don't care.
Well, that fits our seal, doesn't it?
so anyways, this is the deed, long drawn-out process. We finally got on the same page with American Water. It was a parcel of right-of-way that they purchased from us for their water distribution system. And so this is just
This is the
finalizing
quick-
everything.
this
It's
is
the
the
signature of the.
Wrap up.
It's the final of the
I
final?
wish I could say that that's true. We'll see.
If there's a history of a thing being tossed around forever, this is it.
That's right.
22nd month as commissioner, and this has been on the agenda since month 1.
I know.
So hopefully this is the final.
And we'll
good
have to take
grief.
final signature later since Jim's not here to notarize it, but you guys can approve it and we can collect signatures.
Well, in the interest of only 2 of us being here, I'll make the motion that we accept the commissioner's deed as presented.
Oh, second.
Any discussion? Anybody want me to table it to the next meeting to keep this thing alive? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Cost allocation plan agreement.
This is our ongoing indirect cost plan that we've had with Malcon Consulting. This is where the county gets reimbursed for the indirect cost of providing the Title 4D programs. And so they do these in blocks of 3 years. So this is the renewal, or not the renewal, but the new contract for the next 3 years. And it brings in money for the county. And
You always like that. We've been working with Malcolm for,
years, yeah, several years.
I'll move, we go ahead and approve the agreement with Malcolm on the cost allocation plan.
We have a motion on the floor asking for the approval of the Malcon agreement. I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Engagement letter.
As you all are well aware, Dan terms out at the end of this year, and he started some discussions with me not too many months ago about what that would look like in the future, making sure that we continue to have a good budget process moving forward. Dan and I saw a presentation by Reedy Financial a number of months ago at an AIC conference. I've worked with them in the past. I think Dan was pretty impressed with their process. And so at the direction of the council, in order to make sure that we come up with a good capital plan moving forward, we would like to engage Reedy Financial to help us with our long-term capital planning and revenue and expense forecasting. Dan, is there anything you would want to add to that?
Yeah, I think they're very good at this and doing budgeting, budget work, and I think you'd be very happy with them. And they do long-term, long-range forecasting, as well as the types of reports that I've been providing to the council over the years at budget time with the budget books and the revenue book, and so I recommend that we engage them for that service.
And the way this contract is structured now, Dan and I met with them and Linda, the future auditor, I think it was last week. It's an hourly contract like a lot of professional services are. Once they get their feet underneath us and evaluate the county, we can look at leaving that as hourly, depending on the services we want. We can look at doing it as a not-to-exceed fee on a monthly or annual basis, or we could also have them just kind of estimate what they think they're going to spend in time for the year, and then we can prorate that over monthly payments. So it's up to you all in the future how we want to handle it, but hourly is how they like to start until they get their feet underneath them.
I noticed there were several different levels of hourly rates. Do they recommend, or do we get to approve whatever rate that, how does that determine?
That's just incorporated into the contract. It's similar for pretty much all engineering firms we have.
We don't have to go back and say, oh, we want this guy or that guy. Okay. I just was curious about how that worked. But on the auditor's recommendation, and I'll move we go ahead and approve the financial agreement with Reedy Financial Group.
Have a motion on the floor. I'll second, but I also want to point out that we're having a lot of capital projects. The county's growing, lots of things are going. So, you know, when people say, well, how did you guys come up with this, or where are you going to get the funding? These are things that we're going outside and get professional services to make sure that the decisions that we're making, we can fulfill. So any other discussions or comments from the public? Hearing none, motion on the floor with a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it goes without saying, this on a sidebar, we have been very fortunate, because one of my nemesis is Dan Baston on the other end of the bench, but he's done a lot of this himself as a taxpayer and a Morgan County resident who happens to hold the position of auditor. So I want to, as we enter contracts like this, give recognition and thanks for those who have done it to help me all these years. Thank you, Dan. And that's the nicest I'm going to be to you the rest of the day.
Well, you exceeded my expectations. So
Old business, amend chapter 34. We'll go to table that since our attorney's not here.
To table.
Motion to table. Second. Those in favor say aye.
2-0, pass. Aye.
Tort claims. We never run out of tort claims. What
That's
did we
something. You're kind of,
honestly, people, this is like my favorite part of every meeting. Like, what did I do wrong this time, and we got Keller and Keller this week. We have Ken Nunn. You wouldn't believe all the stuff we get sued for. Look for a motion to send that on to our insurance company.
I'll so move.
Have a motion on the floor, I'll second. No public input. All those in favor say aye.
Hey,
2023 meeting schedule. Did you get a chance to look at that?
I looked at it, I'll just fit it, but I saw there was you had a conflict. You want to go ahead?
I got a few, but I think we should move the July 3rd to the 5th. That's Wednesday, the 5th.
Okay.
The 3rd falls on a Monday. The 4th will be closed, and I really don't care to come back for the 3rd to go back. So we'll table this until Kenny's here,
Probably a good idea.
but I would like to recommend to Kenny that we meet on the 5th of July. That way we can have a long weekend.
Yep, that'd be good.
I'll make a motion that we table.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Meeting schedule's tabled. Request to use the courthouse.
It's for fall foliage,
Yes.
and it's kind of the same dance we've been involved with. I'll go ahead and approve that, or move that we approve the courthouse use for the fall foliage.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the courthouse use for the Fall Foliage Festival. I'll second. No input. All those in favor say aye. Motion passes. PTO donation.
That is coming from, I saw it. Oh, Dree, here you go.
We had an employee that's relatively new that had a dependent that had a medical incident. And so this employee is spending a lot of time in the hospital with their dependent. And so we have, that department has requested if they can donate some time to her. Because she's used everything she has, and so they're just wanting to help her out. And she will get more in February.
I'll move that we go ahead and approve it.
I'll second. Any public input? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
What are we going to do with Kenny's days? Nothing, yes.
Mr. Adams, do you have anything for the good of the county?
Oh, gosh, yeah, there's a lot of things going on good for the county, but I think the most important thing was thank you for all those who were able to attend the bicentennial gathering that we had on the 24th. It was excellent, a lot of fun. The governor did a great job, too. I was just so pleased that he was there for 3 hours poking around and meeting folks and getting gravy on his suit. And it was just a great event, and I enjoyed him a great deal. And thank you for all the people that are involved in the planning and execution of it. We've got, the other good thing that's coming is, of course, fall foliage is, this next weekend starts, right? So have fun. Thursday. Well, yeah, Thursday the 5th. Thank you. That's all I have, sir. There's a lot to say be thankful for, but that's my good for the county right now. Sir.
Hi, Commissioners.
Hello, sir.
How y'all doing?
We always like to be able to talk to you.
A few did. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to the coroner. Beats the alternative.
My purpose, I appreciate you listening to me for a minute or two, but my purpose is to bring forth the quarterly numbers for the county on cases. We had 48 calls in 3 months. We had 12 overdoses, 6 suicides, a motor vehicle crash, 1 drowning, 1 huffing incident, and 26 medical calls. And we got 1 that's still outstanding as far as autopsy and toxicology. And I come forth bearing a little demonstration, if I may. Don't worry, it's okay, Sheriff, I'm fine. What I have here is I have a package of artificial sweetener, okay? And this is the yellow package, it's not the pink stuff. You don't have to open it, you don't have to use it. If you want to, you can give it back to me, that's fine too. I'm doing this for a reason, to make a demonstration. This is for everybody in the room as well as the commissioners. This package right here, if you look at the back and you can read the fine print, it is 1 gram of powder, okay? This package, if it were fentanyl, would kill every person in this room, but would have killed 250 adult males, okay? The demonstration that I saw was in the House of Representatives. He had 2 packets. And all the fentanyl in those 2 packets would have killed the entire Congress. My point is this. The coroner's office, I'm not wanting to get involved in anything political, because I'm not about politics. I'm about helping people. That's what God called me to do. But I'm seeing so many adverse effects of this stuff. And the law enforcement is fighting tooth and nail. People are trying their very best to stop this stuff. But it starts with educating the people that are using it. Because these people do not understand dosing. They don't understand how much is a grain. They don't understand that fentanyl is so potent that a therapeutic dose of fentanyl starts at 75 micrograms. That's 1/1000th of a gram. So when you see the commercials or you see the information on the internet that says 1 touch on the end of a pen will kill people. And it's serious. It's out there. So just wanted to bring that forth to begin my process of trying to educate folks, so maybe we can educate some others, and so maybe these numbers will go down. Thanks for hearing me out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, fentanyl, they're lacing fentanyl in just about anything that's illegal, including marijuana, things that you would not associate, you know, everyone associates it with meth, but they are actually lacing that with just about anything on the street right now. So a major concern to law enforcement and technically the whole community as a whole. For the good of the county, I'd like to touch upon something that I'm sure will blow Facebook up even more. But after talking to the relatives of Abe Lincoln, his family did not vacation up here in Martinsville at the log home. Paul Bunyan did not cut those logs. I talked to probably a person who has more of a history background in this than just about anybody I know, Joanne Stetchen up in Wisconsin. I contacted her early. The maps indicate that why there was a stick structure on there prior to the log home, that log home did not go on to public record until about somewhere between 1904 and 1916. So that is not a historical landmark. That is not a lot of history, but I, as a history minor, one class away from a history major, I didn't want to take U.S. Constitution under Dr. Curtis. I'll go on the record down at Hanover. There is history there. Therefore, the commissioners, and for the good of the county, the commissioners acted quickly, and we are trying to preserve that. We're going to move it out to one of our future parks that we've been working on in the background off of 252. So the log cabin will stay in a 46151 zip code. And we are fortunate enough to have Kenny Hill on the board, who's kind of an expert on log cabins and how to do all that. So he went over and tagged everything the other day to where we can take it apart and put it back together and utilize our great find and preserve the history of that log cabin out at one of our parks. So I got a lot of phone calls to the gentleman that called me at 3 in the morning to reconfirm that I was an idiot. Just probably was for answering the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning. I am going to preserve that along with the help of the commissioners, and we will utilize that at a later time at a different location. But I wanted to address that. For the good of the county, I think you have several people, most of you who attend these meetings, because we're not well attended by the public and the 2 or 3 people that'll be on YouTube, but we are very conscientious of our history. That's why I ran on the slogan, you know, respect the past and build the future. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So excited to find that, but, you know, this won't be the last curveball that we find as we expand and develop our county. So I just wanted to touch upon that.
Thank you.
Anything else from the public?
Question for you. Have you got the program in effect now to check, since you've got tort claims on them, check monkey bars for temperatures and make sure all football helmets fit properly?
Don and I are actually looking for our all-season passes so we can get into all the sports, shin guards, you know.
Be careful.
I know it. You're gonna get me in trouble, Keith. No other comment? Look for a motion to adjourn. And just want you to know, 30 minutes, that could be a record. Second, all in favor, say aye. Everybody have a safe day.
Bean.